Meeting this time.
You're live.
Well, I'm live. I'm talking to Instagram. What's going on, fishy friends? This is the Southwest Florida Inshore Fishing Report. This is a special report because Lee County down in Southwest Florida was really hit hard by the hurricane a couple of months ago. He and his family were brave enough to stick around and luckily made it all through unharmed. But you know, it took that county a while to you know, get back on their feet again, and you know, we're going to talk a little bit about that for sure. Few announcements. The prize of the night, question of the night, $25 off Hook Optics. These glasses are amazing. The first time I picked them up, the first thing I noticed was how quality these hinges are. The competitive brands, I'm not going to say any names, they rhyme with Sniff Optics and Mosta, yeah, but I'm not saying any names. But the frames don't feel anywhere near as quality, and once you put the glasses on, the polarization of these lenses is second to none. So $25 off a pair of these glasses. There's a woman's, they make several pairs of women's glasses, which I think are really cool looking. These are the Marleys. Really great stuff. Also for fishing, but also pretty stylish. They have 3 locations, one in Centerville, one in Easton, and one in Ocean City, Maryland. If you're not from the area, you can go to their website at hookoptics.com. Once again, we are a member-supported media source. We provide fishing reports. We provide on-the-water action. But we are member-supported, right? You know, so we do need your support. We need your help. So we have a TFC Plus subscription on YouTube. It is $5 a month. It's for a ton of extra content. So we're not asking for this for free, for nothing, without giving you anything in return. There's lots of great content on it. We have all of our correspondence from our fishing reports, including Eloy, who we have on tonight, and we have other people as well. So we have just a ton of content and a great array of fishing tips that we're offering for that. What you'll do is go on an Android phone or on a computer and go to our page on YouTube and click the join button. It is $5 a month, but you're contributing to something that you love and all of this fishing content, and in return you're getting some amazing additional content. Without further ado, we are making this man in a crazy hat wait. Let's bring him in. But the light, come on, we got to get some more light. I got to see that.
Let's see.
Welcome back, brother, man. It's good to see you, E.
How you doing, man? It's good to see you guys too, and good to hear from you guys.
You as well. Let's talk about the hat first of all. What's going on?
I have no idea. I was gonna wear a different hat, and my daughter handed me this hat. She said, "Wear this one." She has 2 hats ready for me, and next month she's got another hat already.
Well, I like her taste. I mean,
yeah. This is a monkey.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you can't say it like it's a child's hat because I know your daughter's pretty young. So
right.
That hat is for you. So you purchased it. You purchased it at one point. So you can't blame anybody else. But
True.
Before we get into the fishing stuff, as I mentioned in the pre-show, this is the first report back for the Southwest inshore region. And I mean, you were right smack in the middle of this hurricane. Tell us about how Lee County is recuperating, and how that experience has been for you and your family.
Uh, Unbelievable. So just a quick perspective. I wanted to do this real quick, and this is a chart. This is a map that I have up all the time up here. This is my chart of all my fishing areas, pretty much. And what I can tell
Can
you
you
is
zoom in on that? Are there little highlighted points?
no, there is. So we're not zooming in, but 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 what I'm saying is that if you were to look up the eye of the storm, it covered this whole area. Everything that's on this chart was inside the eye at one point of Hurricane Ian.
Wow. So you're talking about Cape Coral, Matlacha, Pine Island. I mean, the whole deal.
Yes, and most of I'd say 90% of my fishing, area was affected by this hurricane.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow. So, I mean, in terms of, I have no idea how mangroves, which is a huge part of your fishing, I don't know how mangroves, I mean, how do they do in a hurricane?
So today was one of the first times I went out in my area. I had gone out a couple of weeks ago to Goodland, Florida, which is about an hour south of here. It's kind of close to Marco Island. And I had gone there because the water was already clear there, and the water was still a little yucky at that point in this area. But today I got to go out here, and I went through one of my, my routes that I would normally take, someone out on. And I'll tell you that the fishing was rough today. We did catch some fish today, but the mangroves are completely different.
Wow.
Yeah, there's no leaves on the mangroves, so they're all bare. So there's not a lot of shaded area, which is usually the areas you target. um, and then everything just shifted. I mean, just in the today, being back in an area that I normally fish a lot, I would say it's at least 50 to 60% different. Just even depths have changed, but the mangroves especially,
Oh,
everything.
you're saying like the shape, not just the lack of leaves, but like, if you had a mound that was a half a mile long that you relied on for that stretch, it's in a different, that may not be the case anymore.
It's a beach now in some areas. Places where they were flats. Now there's a beach. So everything's shifting, and that was just today. That was just the first day. So it was an eye opener. And the good thing is this next week, the next 2 weeks, I'm planning on just being in the water and figuring out the areas again and trying to just see what's happening in the water. And we're planning on being back in full force. And we're getting calls. People want to go fishing, but I don't know what's really going on out there, so I don't want to say yes. The plan is for December 1st to be back full force. Once I figure out what's happening in the water.
You know what? Yeah, I say take them, man. I mean, you got like the world's best excuse. You can be like, everything's different. I mean, and the great thing is, nobody knows better than you. It's not like, guys that have been there for 30 years know better, because it's different for them too. We can have some questions rolling in. And my co-host, before we hit Sean's question, just wanted to point out, she noticed your Heroes on the Water shirt, right on, and to thank you for your service, E. And we're glad that you're safe and doing well. Sean Fenwick watches the channel all the time. Thank you, Sean. He says, how long do the Marines take to, he corrected it later. How long do the mangroves take to grow their foliage back?
That is a good question. That is a good question. I can't give you the answer to that right now, and I'll have to get back to you on that. We did find some areas today that seemed like they were hit less with the wind, and there were still some leaves and some mangroves, but those are very few in between. I mean, just the debris. Everything is different. There's, where I was fishing today, there were boat houses that were anchored in a little bay, and now they're pushed up against areas where I used to catch redfish. You know what I
Oh
mean?
wow.
So, right. So that just changes. You know, I couldn't tell today if they're not there because the conditions were right, or they weren't there because everything changed for them and they don't like it there no more. So like it's gonna take a while to figure out why they're moving, why things happen. But I don't have an answer on when how long those mangroves will grow back. But I'll look into that. I hope fast.
Yeah, unfortunately, we expect you to both be a kayak guide and a horticulturalist. So, we're going to need you to step it up. Brian Dolph just has a comment. He says, a buddy of mine in Fort Myers says the coastline and all its spots are forever changed. He is thinking of moving north just to keep clients on fish. And I'll add to that, you know, I don't have anywhere near the knowledge of anyone really that fishes down there often, but I have fished around mangroves enough to tell you, like, these, if you haven't ever fished around mangroves, they have massive root structures that are just like thick and like they just are gnarly looking things. And to think that you know, something strong enough to go through and just reorganize all that is just, I mean, it's mind blowing.
100%. I set a lot of hooks on some mangroves today. I thought they were monsters today, but I I set a lot of hooks on huge mangroves today.
Hey, you were the first person that told me the hook sets are free. So
Yeah, well, I definitely used that today for sure.
well, I think in the mangroves they're not really free because you're going to lose some of those
You
lures.
will. You will. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I did catch some decent trout. I mean, we caught the biggest trout today was an 18-inch trout. So yeah, good trout. I think I sent you the picture.
That was a beautiful, yeah. It's on the thumbnail, guys. If you want to see it, beautiful, beautiful fish. And
Yeah. And that
for
was today.
your region down there, that's a good sized trout, right?
Right, right. But the thing is, those trout that we found today, uh, out of all my spots that I usually fish in today's route, we found fish in one of those spots. Everything else caught today was in places I've never even really worked. You know, today I was working areas like I was brand new to the area. I had to because everything's just they're not even where they're at. Even if the conditions didn't change too much, the fish seem like they're not there anymore.
This reminds me of a song. Feels like the first time. Feels like the very first time. That's crazy, man. I mean, it must be. I don't know. I was going to say that's kind of exciting, but it's actually kind of not. Like you live in an area, and if it's your backyard, you know, if it's your backyard, you want to know it, right? When you go on vacation somewhere, you're like, oh, this is so exciting. We're exploring.
Exactly.
But when it's your backyard and you're trying to put people on fish, there's not too much exciting about it, right?
No, no. And the other thing that's also affected is, you know, I try to catch my own bait if possible, but most of the time I have a bait shop and I go to right now our bait shop, my local bait shop's closed still. You know, they're still working on trying to start. I believe December, somewhere in the middle of December is their goal to get started back up too. But a lot of the bait, I mean, every business is affected. I don't think there's one building, house, or family that wasn't affected by this hurricane in this area in some way or another. Period.
Yeah.
That's just the easiest way to explain what's going on down here.
So pretty much, if you're not catching your own bait, you're not getting bait right now.
No, no. Today we were all artificial today. You know.
Yeah.
So it was all artificial. We didn't find any bait. There was some finger mullet I found. I wasn't able to gather any of them, but the bait was scarce. Everything was very weird today.
Got a lot of questions rolling in. People that want that $25 off these sweet sunglasses. But Robert Lombardi, who's a big kayaker up here in the region, says planning a trip to Florida in March or April. There you go.
There we go.
I'm making a connection here. Generally, which month is better? Recommend East Coast or Gulf Coast for targeting redfish and snook?
Well, I mean, East Coast is just not really that good for redfish unless you start going northeast Florida. It starts getting a little better. But if you want to be able to target redfish and snook, you want to come to our area because you can target those fish year round in our area. And East Coast, I know East Coast they do have some big snook over there. They do have a lot of 40-inch plus snook. I have a lot of friends that fish in that side, and they get some really nice snook in that area. But they just don't hook into the redfish like we do on this side. The redfish hold more to the Gulf Coast than the East Coast of Florida. So I would say come to this side if you want to target both. If you want to get and we have just as big snook as over there. They're just more. It seems like they're more in abundance, and they run a little more on that side, especially during those months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, both sides are fantastic from experience. I would just lean on the side where I know the best guides, and I mean,
Charter with E.
right there.
Right there.
Jupiter kayak fishing with Jupiter kayak fishing of Cape Coral. Another question coming in. My co-host wants to know. I think she thinks this fish was caught in your area, but she's asking about the tarpon. Any beast? We could talk about that. Let's do it.
You got a picture of it to put up there and show everybody?
You think I'm half stepping on this? Woo! Bam! Look at that.
Man, that still brings a smile to my face.
That thing's as big as you are.
Oh man, that was a great battle.
Let's talk about that.
Absolutely. That was in Puerto Rico. That was a couple of days ago, actually, maybe a week.
So you launched from Cape Coral and pedaled down to Puerto Rico, right?
No, I was visiting family over there, and I decided to go do a little fishing while I was there too. So I did a lot more other fishing. I'm trying to put a video together. I pretty much traveled the island fishing off the coast, offshore, and I did catch some fish here and there, but that tarpon was the best fish of the trip.
Let me go back to this picture real quick, and Brian, we'll get to your question in just a second.
There you
but
go.
That kind of looks like you were wade fishing. Is that right?
No, absolutely not.
You were on a boat, I guess.
We were actually in about 40 to. We were jumping around from 35 to 60 feet of water during that whole trip.
Awesome.
Yeah, and that techniques I've never seen before. I've never caught tarpon that way, and I've never seen anyone target tarpon that way. It was almost like we were trolling, almost like a slow drift, and we were using 10 to 12-inch moharas. I mean, they were.
I don't even know what that is.
In the video, I took a video clip of it in that long video I put. They're about 10 to 12-inch moharas, and they're just freelining in the back of the boat.
Wow.
And yeah.
Yeah, you also sent me a clip where you were walking on a pier or something, and you kind of just stuck your head over the side, and there were like a dozen tarpon just chilling there.
That was a restaurant I was eating at, and I was sitting down at the restaurant eating, and I just happened to look over I just wanted to see, and I just see like tarpon down there, and the guy was telling me that the people feed them, whatever. It doesn't matter. I mean, this is Puerto Rico. A lot of the rules and regulations that we have here in the States don't apply over there. I mean, those tarpon are eating cheese
all
sticks.
Of them, pretty much.
Yeah, they're eating cheese sticks, pork, rice and beans.
Yeah, they probably are hard to catch. I know there's I'm not going to say the name of it, but there's a spot in Matlacha where there's snook that just sit right by the boat ramp. And they won't touch anything but dead shrimp because they go out there and, throw them. They feed them from the tackle shop. But it sounds like that same kind of thing. We got a question coming in from Brian Dolph. He says, "How is the red tide down there?" That's got to complicate some things a bit.
100%. That's the other thing we're keeping an eye on today. Today, luckily, we did not see any dead fish. And I talked to a lot of the kayak fishermen, around here, and I know a few of them that have been fishing here in the last month, and they've been doing very well. A lot of snook, and here and there a few reds. So people are catching fish, but the red tide, and they're also posting videos of a lot of dead fish too in some areas. So right now it seems to be not in the intercoastal as of right now. It seems to be on the outside, and it's moving south. It's kind of moving south and north. But yes, we are keeping an eye on that. Right now, Pine Island itself is not really affected. The areas that I fish, Matlacha, I haven't seen any reports of that either. But there are reports in some areas like Captiva, Sanibel, all kinds of areas. It's just very spotty right now where it's happening.
Guys, if you haven't been to this region that he's referring to, in Southwest Florida, it's near Fort Myers, Cape Coral, but there's Matlacha, there's Pine Island, there's Cape Coral. Guys, if you're a fisherman, period, if you're an angler, period, it's awesome. But if you're a kayak angler, it's paradise. Like, even if you don't bring a rod, like just cruising it through the mangroves when E finds out how long it takes the leaves to grow back. No, it's just like the whole thing is an adventure, and it's just like nonstop, endless spaces, little nooks that only a kayak can get into. It's just paradise. So, I really recommend you add that to your bucket list. Sean Fenwick, member of TFC Plus, asks, have you ever had a hurricane roll through that area in your fishing career before? And if so, how did you adapt and plan to adapt to your current ground? Sounds pretty mixed up right now.
So no, I haven't had to deal with this as far as fishing. And the way I adapt is to get in the water, just the same way I adapted on learning how to fish and learning these areas is going back in the water and seeing what's actually happening out there.
Right.
A lot of people have been reporting a lot of dead fish everywhere. Like, don't go fish Pine Island. There's bacteria, all kinds of weird reports and everything. And, I go in the water and I'll find out, right today.
Guys, if you're at home, that look on his face with that hat is just, it's just priceless. I feel like I should screen capture and send that to him, or every time he makes fun of anything that I've ever done, I'll send him this picture. Let's see what's going on here. We might need to, he'll probably drop out and reload. Let's see. Because we do have enough time. We've got 6 minutes for him to come back on and choose the question of the night. But
Everybody should stay on.
you just stay on for a couple of minutes. He'll be back here in just a second. He just dropped out. He'll be back in a second. But we still have an opportunity to win a pair of half-ounce jig heads. Also, you beautiful people on Instagram, if you can name one of the previous names of the fishing channel before it became the fishing channel, right? Lady C kind of came on this joint and the whole thing blew up. But there was a channel before this channel, and I'll tell that story while he's coming back in. Lady C and I were just driving around, and we were thinking about, we were like, well, we want this to be like more than just regional. We want to spread it out. So like anything with Chesapeake in it probably isn't the direction we want to go. And we just said, what about the fishing channel? And we were like, that's got to be taken. Driving around, pull up the trademark engine, and the trademark had been abandoned for like 10 years. So we went home that very day and snatched it up. And that is the story of how we became the fishing channel. You never know until you check. right? So we tell people, they're like, what channel is it? And we're like, the fishing channel. And they're like, how'd you get that? And we're like, just check it. Sometimes you just got to check. All right, you were right in the middle of answering this question, which was about the hurricane, and have you ever had that happen before? How do you adapt and all of that? Oh no. For real?
Well, he did answer some of it and said that he does what he did exactly how he started kayak fishing.
Yeah, but he's got to do the question of the night, man. Sean, you're real close, brother. You're real close. If anyone wants this pack, I'm going to make it real easy. All you have to do is work for this. If you want this pack of jigs, go to our channel, look at the videos, scroll way back. Scroll way back, and you'll see. The Crazy Horse Fishing Hour is still a segment that we do during the winter. We've got some awesome guests coming up this year. We're going to have a representative from Humminbird come on and tell us exactly how to use our electronics to interpret images. Who else we got? We got Bob Pino with Hook Optics is coming on. Who else?
Former ESPN announcer, gone fisherman, and TV show host in Florida.
If you guys heard that, former ESPN announcer,
gone fisherman, and has several TV shows.
He's got several TV shows. His name is Vince.
Yep.
What's his last name?
Noble.
Vince Noble. He'll be joining us. We've got a lot of people. A lot of people coming on for the Crazy Horse Fishing Hour this year, but that is unfortunately not a name of this channel before it was the Fishing Hour. Sean says, is it cold down there? Oh, he's back again. Let's try this one more time. I feel like just saying, what's the question of the night? Like grabbing you now.
I don't know. It's got to be my side because you guys are still going, right?
Oh yeah, we've been going the whole time.
Okay.
We're like old pros now. Whenever people drop their internet, we're like, oh, let's talk about blah. Look at here. But yeah, you were just saying about the how you adapt to when this kind of hurricane stuff happens.
Yeah, I'm gonna get in the water and find out what's happening out there. That's the only way I can figure it out. Because even fishing reports and social media and all that stuff, you only get 50% of the truth anyway, right?
Correct. Sean has one more question, and Sean, flattery is going to get you nowhere. But he says, is it cold down there? And your hat rocks, which it does. I mean, it's truth. It's true.
So cold is relative. If I say it's cold for me, I'm sure a bunch of people are gonna make fun of me right now. Let's see.
But for you, is it cold?
For me, it's cold.
Okay.
Yeah. This morning
I went fishing in 22-degree weather yesterday.
Ooh. Successful?
No. Today was awesome. Yesterday, not so much. Not so much.
That would have been okay if it was successful.
Yeah, yesterday was one of those kind of like stupid prove your manhood, prove you can do it kind of things, Yeah.
I don't do that anymore.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm still doing it.
I mean, look at this. Look at the hat I'm wearing. Do you think I'm worried about proving my manhood, man?
Right. Just dismissing all integrity, at this point. But you know what? You've got a ton of integrity. You're a fantastic kayak guide, and you have the duty of choosing the question of the night for the 25% off of these.
It's got to be the one that's going to make me look something up, which is how long does it take for mangroves to grow back?
Who was that? Let's go back. Back. That was Sean Fenwick. Sean, TFC Plus member Sean Fenwick. How long does it take for the mangrove leaves to grow their foliage back? Well, we're going to hold you to that next month. That's going to be the very first question.
I will know the answer too.
And if you don't know the answer, you're going to get an F. Do they still give Fs anymore? Like, you've got kids today. No more
Oh,
F's.
no, that probably is not correct because it probably hurts their feelings. So they have a D.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, right. It's D for
Abandoned.
darn it. You can do better next time. That's
Right,
what
there
it
you
stands
go.
for. Well, E, it's so great to have you back, man. I'm really glad that you and your family came through this all right. You know, next time go to Puerto Rico for the bad one, not the not so bad one.
You're right.
But you want to close us out with any last words?
You know, next month, hopefully on the next fishing report, we're gonna have a lot more information on our future and how we're gonna move forward after this hurricane and exactly what we're gonna do because I don't want to just push out, hey, come book with us. I got to go figure out what's going on in the water. I want to know what's going on. I take pride in putting people on fish and what I do. So as soon as I know that it's good for me to bring people out, I'll let everybody know the same thing. And that's all we're gonna do. So next fishing report, I'll have more information and how we're gonna move forward. But as December 1st, we will start taking trips, and we're gonna start back on normal and try to get back to normal at least.
Well, I have a lot of respect for you. You know, trying to make sure that you're putting the best product forward, and really appreciate that, guys. E will have an amazing tarpon tip, but you do have to get the TFC Plus, so that's going to be up here real soon. And for who was it that won the prize? Sean. We already have all your contact information, so we'll make sure that you get that $25 off of the Hook Optics. E, great to have you back. Everyone, thanks so much for watching all 3 fishing reports, and we will see you not this Thursday because it's Thanksgiving, but the Thursday after that. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Take care. Enjoy that glass of wine.